Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this webinar where we will going to discuss about e-commerce and its business models and how exactly the operations happen in e-commerce industry. We will also be going to discuss about the skills which are required to build up a career in e-commerce industry. I will be the presenter for today, and my name is Richard, and I carries over 10 years of work experience into operations and quality assurance. And for the last 6 years, I've been working with Unicommerce, and I am here to help you out in understanding how the e-commerce function and what are the different models that e-commerce companies operates on. So let's start with this webinar. I will present my screen first, and then we'll discuss about it. Uh, During this entire webinar, I request you all to please, whenever you have any query or questions in mind, please feel free to put it in the chat box so that at the end of this webinar, we will take each question and answer them. All right, so let's start. So first thing, we'll start with the we need to first understand what exactly e-commerce is. In our previous webinars also, we have discussed a lot about e-commerce, how the e-commerce industry is operating right now, what is the scale at which e-commerce is growing. So basically, e-commerce is nothing but anything, any transaction or any selling or buying of goods which is happening on the internet or the digital medium, that is basically called as e-commerce. So it is very simple. So whatever we are buying from online, and for this today's session, we are just sticking to the portals such as Amazon or Flipkart or Myntra or Agio. So these portals where we can go as a buyer, we search the products and we purchase them. We make the transactions online. So that's the reason it's called as e-commerce. As we already know that e-commerce is already booming, and in this difficult time of pandemic, like everyone is trying to do all the shopping and purchases and selling of goods through online medium. And even we have already discussed about this fact in our previous webinars that how the different industries, different brands and companies are coming to this e-commerce platforms so that they can reach to their customers whom they are losing due to the offline shutdown of the offline business, or slow pace of the offline business because of this current situation. So when we talk about e-commerce, then we also need to understand that e-commerce is not that simple how exactly it looks like. For a basic layman like us, we just think like that we went to the Flipkart or Amazon, we search the product, we try to match the prices, and then whatever product we like, we simply place the order. And at the back of our mind, we feel like that what the sellers will going to do, they simply need to pack the order and just send it to us, simple. But it's not like that simple. So e-commerce actually need a lot of skills, and it's quite very complicated, and we need to understand it. And when I'm saying complicated, but along with that, it is also very structured, and it's also very process driven. So we will going to discuss next about it, that what are the different uh, ways that the order processing is actually happening in the e-commerce industry. Now, I've just break the entire process in different steps. Now, for an e-commerce seller, the first and the most important thing is that to get the product listed on the e-commerce platforms, right? They want to list their products on Flipkart or Amazon or Myntra. So they speak with them, they have a contract, and basis on that contract, they list the products, they put the price and everything. But before that, they also need to work on the procurement. They need to identify their vendors. So first they identify their vendors. After finalizing the vendors, to procurement of the raw material if they are the manufacturer, or the procurement of the finished good if they are just the retailers, right? So first they identify the vendors, they actually get into the contract with them, then they work on the procurement. Once the procurement happen, right, the vendor actually send the all the finished goods or the raw material to the warehouses. Now at the warehouses, they actually receive those products and do the activity that is called a GRN, that is called goods received node. So they acknowledge that yes, you have sent that product to us, we have received it, now we will going to do the put away. Where put away simply means that they are going to put it in their warehouse in a very systematic way. The warehouses are the big areas which has been divided into racks and shelves. Like they actually put all the products in a very systematic way, so that whenever an order comes, they can easily identify the product that where exactly is placed, and they can easily pick it up. And once the order received, they do the picking of the product. They go to the warehouses, identify the product, pick it up, and after picking the product, they actually pack the product. Now with between the picking and packing process, they have to do two tasks: generation of the labels, that is called as the shipping labels, and the second one is the invoice. Now invoice is something which actually get into the package. Now, whenever you purchase anything, the parcel which you have received from Flipkart or Amazon or any other portal, when you open it, inside the package, you always find the invoice copy. So that is the invoice they have to print prior, put it in the package, and after that they pack it up and put the label on it. Now, this label is actually called as shipping label. This is the label which has all the details, like through which courier it's going to come to your place. It has the tracking number, details of the seller, shipper, and everything. After packaging the parcel, the package, the seller you hand it over to the shipping providers, the logistics provider, right? And during the handover to the logistic provider, they actually take the sign off, that is called as the manifest. Like they actually take the sign off of the package handover. After the logistic provider receive the product, they start the transit of it. Now during this transit, and like there exactly would be two steps which are possible. One, it will successfully get delivered to the buyer. The second thing, between this the delivery process, buyer can anytime cancel that product also. So in case if it is successfully delivered to the buyer, then and in case if buyer plan to return it back, in that case, return actually get generated, and the return actually sent back to the seller. And similarly, during the transit phase also, if the buyer plans to cancel the order, then again the logistic provider send the package back to the seller. Now, in this particular process, what actually happened when the seller received the goods back, he actually need to check the product, that is it the condition is good or not, it is intact or not, and if it is a saleable, they plan to resale the product. So this is how the entire ecosystem work for an e-commerce supply chain management. And in this particular, basically you can see there are a couple of stakeholders are get involved. Now you can see the vendors are playing an important role in providing the raw material and the finished goods. Here the seller is doing all the operations work. Here the shipping provider or the logistics provider do their task. And in this entire work, the marketplace or the channels, or we call the websites like Amazon or Flipkart, they are helping these sellers to get the actual orders. Now, as we have said that it's a complicated process. It is divided into a lot of steps, uh, and all these steps has a different way of functioning. So, vendor onboarding and procurement is a different module where you need to learn how the procurement happen, how you identify the products, how you're going to procure it. Similarly, how you're going to put it in the warehouse. You need to learn about that skill also. You also need to learn about how the picking packing happens at the warehouses, how you're going to manage your returns and cancellation. Now, not to handle everything, like if you have any queries right now, you can simply drop a message, or you can also go to the description link where we have put a link where you can go, and one of our Naukri team member will connect with you and explain you that how you can acquire these skills. All right, so let's move further. Now, the second thing, as we said, that e-commerce has a lot of processes are involved. So definitely, e-commerce must have different kind of business models also. Now, for a normal buyer, it's just like Amazon. It's just Amazon India. it's just like Snapdeal, it's just like Flipkart, it's just like Myntra, it's just like Ajio or LimeRoad. But for a seller, it's not just Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, uh, because they have different, because these Amazon have different business model. The Myntra has a different business model. Flipkart has a different business model. So before seller gets enrolled to these programs, to these marketplaces, he actually study about these different models, and then he decide which model will be the most suitable business model for them. And this is what we are going to learn in the next couple of slides. All right, so first model which we want to discuss here is the marketplace model, which is also called as dropship. Now, in this particular model, it's a very basic and the simple model of the e-commerce portals. It's common with almost all the portals, and to start in the e-commerce industry, usually every seller have onboarded on this particular model that's called a marketplace model or the drop shipment. Here, what actually happened, the seller just need to register on these marketplaces. After registering, he lists the products, put all the images, catalog, description, price, and everything. And after that, these marketplaces, when I say marketplace, that means I'm talking about Flipkart, Amazon. We also call them channels also, because these are the sales channel. Actually, this generate the sale. So these marketplaces, these help the seller to get the orders. So it helps them to get the orders. Once the order gets received to the seller actually himself pack the order and dispatch it. Now, this entire process is called as marketplace model or the drop shipment. In this process, the dispatching of the product happen in a two ways, because anyways, you have to ship it through the shipping provider. So in this case, there are two types of shipping that can be possible. One is called as self-shipping, and second one is called as channel shipping. Now, in case of channel shipping, the marketplace actually arrange the shipping for the orders dispatching, and the self-shipping seller has to find a shipping provider from by himself, and that shipping provider will going to dispatch the order, right? So this entire model here, marketplace is do not hold any kind of inventory. It just display the inventory on the portal. Actual inventory is with the vendor only. And whenever the order comes, right, marketplace just provide that order to the seller, right, or the vendor, and that's he actually plan to process that order. So that's the reason it's called as marketplace model. Now, in this model, you have just to identify that whenever you place any order and you want to identify like from where you got this order, is this is a marketplace model order or some different model? So it's very simple. You have also experienced one more thing, that whenever you purchase anything from Flipkart or Amazon, you always notice one common type of shipping provider. For example, in case of Flipkart, it's always e-card. In most of the time, it's e-card. Similarly, in case of Amazon, in most of the time, it's always ATS, right? So this is the way you can identify that this particular order which you have placed, that is the dropship order, and the seller actually displayed his inventory to the portal, and against that inventory, he received this order and he actually packed the order and dispatched it. So that is the first model, which is the most common model in the e-commerce industry. Now, the second model is called as warehouse model. Now, this model is very unique, because here the entire control is in the hands of the marketplaces. Now, I'm sure you guys have must noticed whenever you buy something on Flipkart and Amazon, you have always seen a tag that's called as Flipkart Assured or fulfilled by Amazon. Whenever you say this particular thing, that means that Flipkart and Amazon, they are actually having an entire control on the product. Now, what actually happened in this product? These marketplaces get into a contract with the vendors, right? And they ask the vendors to send their entire stock to the marketplace warehouses. So Amazon will have a different warehouses in different areas of the country. They ask the vendor to send their inventories to the nearby warehouses. Now, these warehouses are called as marketplace warehouse, or the Amazon fulfillment centers, or Flipkart fulfillment centers, right? Now, whenever the order get placed, on the website under this model, and if the seller has registered that product under this model, then these channels, these Flipkart and Amazon will going to do the entire order processing. They will pick the order, they will pack the orders, they will dispatch it. Even if you raise the return or cancellation, then also they will going to manage. Now, the best part about this model is that vendor or the seller do not need to worry about anything. He just need to ensure that the flow of inventory should not never get stopped. He continuously providing the inventories to the marketplaces on a regular interval, right? So that the sales should not get stopped. Uh, Also, he need to just check one thing, that for how long he want to keep the product in the warehouse, because there would be a chance that many times there are a couple of stock which will not get sold, right? And in this particular model, seller has to bear the transportation cost, the transportation from the vendor place to the marketplace fulfillment centers. And similarly, if they want to recall the product, then also they have to bear the transportation cost. Along with that, seller also need to bear the rent for the space which they are acquiring in the fulfillment center, right? Although it's a less hassle work, but it requires a lot of calculations. So that is the reason, these players usually prefer to go or to the marketplace models, because they want to have a peace of mind. They just want to ensure that their products should get sold regularly, and most importantly, they should get the tag of Flipkart assured or the fulfilled by Amazon, right? So this is the second model. Now, but this model, as I said, in this model, the seller has to keep a very close watch on what products are being sold from this fulfillment center, because he need to bear the cost of the rent also. So it's require a lot of calculations and everything, and a lot of planning. Now, to help and to provide ease to the seller, these marketplaces have launched another model that's called as hybrid warehouse models. We popularly called in the e-commerce industry as Flipkart Smart or Amazon Seller Flex. Now, what actually happened in this particular model? The channels have started analyzing this fact that this vendors or the sellers, they are not feeling very much comfortable in sending their inventories to their warehouses. The first and the most important thing is about the cost, because they have to bear the cost for the rent and transportation and everything. And also there, because as these inventories has been sent to the marketplace warehouses fulfillment center, these vendors are feeling helpless, because they are not even able to sell it to the different marketplaces. Now, that is the whole reason. To give more ease to the seller, these marketplaces have came with the new model that's called a hybrid warehouse model. Now, in this particular model, what actually they did, first of all, they did their data analysis, and they tried to find out the sellers who are really very good in their SLAs or the metrics, like their return percentage or the fulfillment rate or the SLA rate, and their ratings are really very high. They have provided this option to them that they do not need to send their inventories or the products to their fulfillment center. What they can do, they can simply keep these stock in a specific location in their own warehouse, like in the seller's warehouse only or the vendor's warehouse only. They allocated a dedicated place for Amazon or Flipkart, and they will going to put their product in a very systematic way in the shelves and everything. And they also get into a contract with each other that vendor will going to ensure that they will follow all the guidelines which will be provided by the Amazon or the Flipkart, right? Now, in this way, seller now have a more control on their inventory, but eventually marketplace is keeping a very close eye, and they do regular surveys also of their warehouse, that are they following all the SOPs or not, or the protocols or not, right? And they always want to ensure that these sellers should be able to fulfill these products, like fulfill these orders in a regular interval and the specified times, and this SLA should not get breached, right? And but the best part about this is that in this model also, though these sellers is actually fulfilling all the orders, packing and dispatching and everything, still they are able to get the tag of Flipkart assured or the fulfilled by Amazon. Now, next time, whenever you are going to place any order on Amazon or Flipkart, and if you are placing an order of Flipkart Assured or Amazon Prime or fulfilled by Amazon, now you can understand there are 50% chances that those sellers who are actually delivering, they could be on the hybrid model, or they could be on the um, normal warehouse model, right? So this is the third, and this is one of the most popular model nowadays. Most of the sellers are preferring to use this particular model, and as this model requires a lot of speed, a lot of skills to manage, because you can see that the SLAs are very stringent in this case, very strict, and seller has to ensure that they should meet it all the time. They cannot miss it, because otherwise they will lose their Flipkart assured or fulfilled by Amazon tag also, and that can lead to loss in the sale. Because you can see, even when we want to buy something, we always see that what kind of tag is there. If it is fulfilled by Amazon, then we prefer to buy, because we feel like that it's been delivered by Amazon, and Amazon have their own SOP in place, right? So that is the third important model. There is another model that's called as B2B model. Now, this particular model works on two ways. Now, the first one is called as outright buying, and the second one is called uh, as called SOR model, that's called a sale or return. Now, outright buying, let's discuss about it first. In the outright buying model, what actually happened? These company, the bigger sellers, seller like the Cloudtail. Now you know that if you want to buy something, you will find a lot of products are listed under seller name as Cloudtail. So what Cloudtail does, they actually contact with these vendors, and they procure these products in a very huge quantity, in lakhs of quantity, in lakhs of amount. Now now once they procure it in a huge quantity, they get really good discounts on it, right? And then they resell those products on their own terms and conditions. Now in this case, as the name says, outright buying, that means once a seller uh, sold the product to Cloudtail or such kind of company, then he will not have any kind of authority on that product. Now, these company who is going to procure it from these sellers in a bulk buying, right? They have the final say that at what cost they want to sell it, right? So this is one of the very common model, and the only reason why it's helping the seller, because in this way they do not need to do a lot of management of the task. They just need to close the deal, and once the deal get closed, they simply need to dispatch all the items to these players, and they do the rest of the work, and seller in return get the cost of the product well in advance, right? So it helps them in improving this sale drastically. So that's the reason many sellers just prefer to work on the B2B model. Now the other model is called SOR, sale or return. Now as the name says, sale or return, in this model, these the marketplace get in contract with the vendor, and what they do, they get into a partnership, and which says like that in a specific duration, if this inventory will not get sold, right, they will return it back to them. So what vendor does, vendors send their inventory to the marketplace fulfillment center. It stays there. If the order comes, marketplace do all the processing and everything, but in case if it do not get sold in a specific time, they return it back to the vendor. Now that's the reason it's called as SOR model. That's a sale or return model. So now next time, whenever you will going to buy it, you can see that any one of these methods will be used to get the product delivered to your place. Now, if you guys want to know more about it, as I said, we have designed the entire curriculum around this. You can contact us by going to the description link and just contact us through the link, and we will going to help you out in telling you that how you can learn all these processes and the models like the seller is used to do the work. So you will be able to learn from us. Now, the next thing we are going to discuss about that, as we know, as we discussed that e-commerce is growing, e-commerce is booming. 84% of the people have started buying products online during this pandemic. Now you can understand, like, definitely there's a good need of e-commerce skilled professionals in the industry. We know that the process is very complex. It requires a lot of stakeholders to get involved to actually deliver that product to the end user. Similarly, it required a lot of skill set to analyze and understand and see that which is the best model for a company. Similarly, so hence you definitely need a skill to have in you to get access to this industry. And if you are already aware about all the processes, all the models, the way the operations work, definitely you will be the preferred choice for anyone to be hired, right? So let's discuss about a couple of skills which are most important in this particular industry. So first and the most important is concept about e-commerce, right? You should know about ABC of e-commerce. You should know how the marketplace work, how the processes work, how the procurement happen, how the warehouse will work, how the dispatching will work, how the returns will going to be work, because reducing returns is also a very big challenge in e-commerce. So you need to know about all these concepts. Similarly, you also need to know about the supply chain concept, because you have to deliver these commodities to the end user. So you should know how you're going to supply those complete your supply chain entire process and ensure that the product should be delivered to the end user in a very good condition, and you will always have a happy customer at the other end. You also need to have a lot of data oriented skills. You need to have data analytics. You should know how to work on Excel, how to work on Excel, because you need to be involved in managing your inventories, doing the listings, uh, like doing the data analysis of your sales and returns and reasons, finding RCS, a lot of things you need to do it. So you need to have that skill in yourself. You should be a very have a qualitative aspect, because quality of the product, process and the operation is very important. Because if your product is good, your operations and the processes are very well intact, then definitely you will find your customer to be happy all the time, right? So it is very important for you to have a qualitative aspect also. You also need to have a good understanding of working with vendors for the procurement of the raw material, for the fulfillment of procuring the finished goods or manufacturing partners. So you need to very well verse about how the vendors work, how you need to negotiate with the pricing with them, how you're going to procure it, from which place you will going to procure. So you need to have a good vendor management skill so that you can run your business in a very profitable manner. Similarly, you should know about warehousing concept like inbounds, outbounds. So you should know about how the inventories will going to get in the warehouse, how the task will going to be managed, how it will going to be put on the shelves. Now, I just give you a very basic example. You have been to offline stores like supermarkets like Big Bazaar or the mall or the store like Shoppers Stop, and you have seen that they have placed everything very strategically, right? Even if you want to pick something, they have placed the things also in a very systematic manner. So these all comes in how you exactly going to manage your warehouses. So similarly the actual warehouse also has to be managed in a very systematic way. And the last and the most important thing is procurement, because until unless you will not going to plan your procurement for the next couple of months, you will not be able to manage with the sale. Otherwise, your sales will get dropped. So you have to be very much well skilled to learn all these skills to get excel in this industry. Now, I'm sure you must be wondering that how you're going to acquire all these knowledge, because that is not a simple or small thing. Now, don't worry, we are here to help you out. Unicommerce, we have an initiative called Unicool, where we are going to train the people into e-commerce industry and supply chain management. And we want to create a pool of skilled professional in the country. So we have partnered with Naukri Learning, and we have collaborated and designed a curriculum which will going to provide you all the skills, right? And the whole objective of this entire program is to ensure that you will get all the skills which are required to build up your career into the e-commerce industry. I have seen a lot of people moving from one industry to the e-commerce, like different industries to the e-commerce industries. Now, if you also want to plan to switch your industries, or if you want to start your career, or you're just starting, or you're just restarting your career after a break, I would say this course will going to really help you out. The reason being, this course is being designed in a close collaboration with Unicommerce and the Naukri Learning, and most importantly, it's being it have all the experience of us into it, because we have been working very closely with a lot of big brands. You can go to Unicommerce website and you can look for like what are brands we have managed, and that's the reason it will really help you out in understanding how this entire module will going to work. Now now this entire course is divided into 4 weeks, where every week we will have 2 sessions, right? One would be a theory session and other would be a practical session. Now the theory session will be entirely based on clearing your theoretical concepts like of the e-commerce or supply chain industry. The practical aspect will be to clear all the concept, like how exactly the operations happen at the e-commerce sellers places, or the brand's place, or the company's place, right? We will going to give you a uh, live experience that how these e-commerce sellers or e-commerce brands whom you always purchase the orders, right, they actually doing all the entire order processing and inventory management. All these sessions will be from the industry expert who would have a experience of more than 3, 4, 5 years, right, in the same industry, in the e-commerce industry. And all these sessions will be a live session, so that you can directly interact with the experts. And later on, you will also get the recorded session, recording, so that you will be able to you can go through these recordings again and clarify all your doubts. You will get all the downloadables, like you will get PDFs and all the materials, so that you can refer at any point of time. All these sessions will have assessments, and like theory will have assessments, and the practical will have a minor project, like you have to complete the regular task, so that you will get hands-on, right? So it's not about theory, it's about you working live on the portals, right? And after you completed all the 8 sessions, right, you have to attend a final assessment, and a final project has to be submitted, and then you will be a e-commerce certified professional, right? And the most best part about this thing is that all the training will going to happen on the Unicommerce flagship product that's called as Uniware, right? So this is the same product which is being used by some of the very big brands of this industry, right? And if you want to know about like what all brands are you actually using, you can go to Unicommerce website and you can check it out, like what all brands are using. But this software uh, you will have the access to this software. You will get a login. This software is called as Uniware, and we are the pioneer into this industry. We work on setting up the standards. So if you have an entire knowledge, or if you have a working experience on this software, then you can see that you are working on some standards, right? So this will really help you out in learning, and you will see that many orders which you are getting at your place deliver, those orders are actually being processed using this software only. All right. So this is also a very big thing for everyone. Now this entire course, I just share the roadmap for you. So in the first week, we will going to explain you about all the concepts and the theoretical and the practical aspects of e-commerce and supply chain, how you're going to even along in the practical class, we will going to explain you how you're going to set up your warehouse and everything, right? So first week would be focused on clearing all the base and the concepts. Second week will focus primarily on inventory and order management, how the inventory will going to manage, what are the different concepts of managing the inventory, how you're going to process the order. Now, if you remember now, I told you I spoke about 3 different models of e-commerce, right? Now you can see all these 4 different models of e-commerce, and all of them have a different way of working. How a e-commerce seller manage all different ways of working of different marketplaces, right? You will going to learn in it. You will also going to learn a very unique concept that's called a centralized inventory management. through in week 2, that how the e-commerce sellers are actually managing the inventory. Just imagine if an e-commerce seller is selling on 15 marketplaces, how he will going to manage the inventory or update the inventory in all the marketplace. It's not a very easy task. And how they are actually doing it in a real-time basis, you will going to learn about it. In the third week, you will going to learn about how, the order processing, logistics, the shipping, managing the shipping providers. Even you will also going to learn about returns management, the cancellation, how you're going to lower your returns. So you will going to learn about all the stuff. In the fourth week, you will going to learn about all the data analytics part, the different kind of reports, the best practices of the industry. And then you will get the time to complete your quiz projects. And once you will done with your final assessment and the final project, then you will be awarded with the certification for the same. So this is the course. I request you all to just uh, go down to the description and description, and you will find a link over there. Simply click on that link, you will get to the landing page, and from there you can submit your details. The Naukri team will going to connect with you and will help you in understanding more about this course, and then you can enroll for this course, which we are going to start very soon. All right, now that's all from my end. If you have any queries or questions, you feel free to ask me, and I will answer all your queries right now. So I have one question. All right. And one more important thing about this course is that once you enroll with this course, and you will also get a career support also, because as you can see, it's being in association with Naukri Learning. So you can see Naukri is the best portal to help you out in getting the right job, right? So this course will be a one package for you. So now I have different kinds of different questions. So let me just take questions. The first question is from Vishal Pandir. Can e-commerce provide jobs at home? Vishal, yes. Because initially we always think that not the every job can be done from home, but it's not the case now. I know many clients, many e-commerce sellers who are actually working on very limited bandwidth, and they have planned their business in such a way that a couple of people are working from home only on a permanent basis. Now, just to give you an example, if you just need to manage the e-commerce portal or the listings, then you do not need to come to the office, right? So yes, there are possibilities that you will get work from home jobs, but again, that depends on which company you are going to get hired for. Gyan Chandrapal has asked, Flipkart and Amazon have their own inventory or not? Gyana, sorry. Flipkart and Amazon, as I said, it totally depends on the model on which you're talking about. Now, if you talk about drop ship model, no, they do not have the inventory hold, because the inventory is actually with the seller only. They just collect the order on the commitment of the inventory which seller has done on the Flipkart or Amazon portal. Now, the thing happened in such a way that Flipkart.com, you actually see the Flipkart.com Flipkart mobile app, right? But seller have a different login panel. They have a seller panel. In the seller panel, seller has to do the listings, and in the listing they have to mention that how many inventory they have for that listing. Amazon and Flipkart will only going to take the order for that particular number of inventories only. They will never going to take extra order or the excess order. So inventory, Flipkart, Amazon, no. But yes, if you talk about like partners like Cloudtail, yes, definitely they hold the inventories, because if they are working on outright buying model, definitely they have the hold of the inventory. But it totally depends on which model they are working on. And, another question from Gyan Chandrapal. But as per FDA policy, these companies must not have their inventories, but have how they are having their own inventories. So again, Gyan, I said that they are not actually holding the inventory directly, right? Flipkart do not have their own inventory. Seller actually have their inventory, right? And it totally depends that like how exactly they are they are in a partnership with them. Now, if I give you an example, if they are sending it to their warehouses, then again, seller has to authorize Amazon or Flipkart fulfillment center as their additional place of business in their JC certificate. So it's not that that something is happening incorrectly here. No, everything is happening as per the government policies only, but there are different models and different processes are aligned to it, and they work accordingly. All right. Vedant have a question. Please explain first mile person scope in e-commerce. Vedant, explaining the first mile person scope in e-commerce would be a bigger topic as of now. I would suggest you that you should enroll for this program and learn about it more, because it's uh, explaining you about the entire shipping and the logistic would be a very long process, and you will not be able to understand until unless you do not have the complete experience of e-commerce. So I recommend that you go with this course and learn about it, and then we will discuss about it more. Rashi Thakur, is this course going to help me get a starting job in e-commerce? Definitely, Rashi. Once you will be trained on the e-commerce concepts and the supply chain concept, and also when you will get trained on Uniware, that's our flagship product, definitely you can join any e-commerce company, and not just any e-commerce company. You can even try your hands or try searching jobs in these marketplaces or the shipping logistic providers also. So it's completely possible. Sumit Kumar, can I get into course if I am from finance background? Sumit, yes, definitely you can. Right, I am from an engineering background, and I'm into e-commerce industry, so you can see that yes, you can definitely get into this industry. Only thing which is needed, see, there are a lot of people trying to get into e-commerce because everyone knows this fact that e-commerce is booming and e-commerce has a lot of job opportunity. Ads, most important, it is the most stable job also, right? Because during this pandemic, we have experienced e-commerce is the first thing which has got opened. So definitely e-commerce will going to stay for a longer time. And this pandemic has just given an extra boost to this industry. So yes, you can definitely get into this industry. Doesn't matter which background you have. You just need to have a basic understanding. You just need to have a basic understanding of all the processes and everything. And you just need to make yourself industry ready. And you can do it very easily by enrolling with this course. Hemu, what is the practical class of the course? So Hemu, the practical class will happen on our software, which I talked about, that's called as Uniware. This entire practical will happen on this class only. So when we're going to give you the practical session, in that case, you will going to learn how exactly the operations happen at the e-commerce portals, right? Like the sellers. And now if you take an example of any seller, how exactly, what all steps they actually do once the order received in their seller panel, right? So you will going to learn all these things in the practical sessions. Which common tools used for data analytics? See, there are many tools which you can use. You can use Power BI, Excel, but the most common tool if you talk about is definitely Excel. Excel can do like 90, I would say 95% of your job. And with my experience, I would say most of the e-commerce players which I know, and I'm talking about some of the very big players right now, most of them are using Excel only, because Excel has a lot of flexibility. And along with that, people nowadays started using Google Sheets also, because in Google Sheets you can do a lot of automation, everything. Google Sheets is also one of the tools which people use to do the analysis and everything. Akshata, what is the difference in e-business and e-commerce? Well, e-business is something which you can do and like online. So till the time you are just, so for example, if I give you an example of a player like so e-business is something like any business which can interact with their customers, and they can like they actually help the customers to reach to them. So that's called an e-business, right? So for example, you are getting an assignment, like getting your projects online. So it's, you are into e-business. You're creating content for someone, So you're taking project from for an organization or for a freelancing work. So it's an e-business, but e-commerce is something where transaction actually is involved. So if there is a digital transaction involved, then it means e-commerce. Kudeshwari, I am a commerce student, but I don't know about this topic well. I want to know well. It's useful for me. Kudeshwari, definitely. So see, as I said earlier also, that it doesn't matter that which background you are from, but definitely e-commerce is one of that booming industry. And if you plan to learn more about this industry and more about the skills and more about the knowledge, definitely this is the right course for you. Just go to the description, click on the link, connect with the Naukri team, and definitely you will be able to build up your career into e-commerce industry, and that will gonna help you out for a longer time. I think that's all questions which we have. I'm sure like I will be able to answer most of them. Again, I ask you everyone, thank you for your time and patience in listening to me. I'm sure like I was able to help you in understanding a basic concept of e-commerce. If you guys are very interested in learning about it, please go to description, click on the link, connect with the Naukri team, and we will going to help you out in enrolling with this course, and we will going to help you in seeing that how the actual e-commerce work from the backend perspective. All right. I think I got one more question in meantime. That's from Akash. I am B mechanical and be in mechanical and course in SAP. Is this course beneficial for me? So see, Akash, definitely you have done uh, the graduation in mechanical, so definitely mechanical will not going to be useful here, but definitely you can use your SAP, because in companies SAP are also very commonly used, especially in the enterprises, right? So if you go with this course, you can definitely implement, or you can definitely make a connection between the e-commerce portals and the SAP, and that can is very much feasible using the portal software like Unicommerce, right? So if you get trained on Unicommerce, definitely you, whosoever company you're going to join, you can integrate Unicommerce and SAP together, right? And you can start seeing that the data flowing will going to happen. So definitely you can definitely do it. All right. So guys, again, thank you so much for your time and patience. And I think we can wrap this up, and hope to see you all in this course. And please, again, click on the link below and connect with the Naukri team, and we're going to help you out. Thank you again for your time. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Thank you.